Everyone loves SAA. The only thing that we need to take further is to ensure that probably we get more support from the government in terms of ensuring that we promote that people fly SAA. Maybe government people fly SAA and SOCs fly SAA. We've opened skies and we are more competing now. You know that any other airline can apply for the rights and fly into South Africa. So it's not so much about SAA not doing and fulfilling its mandate. We still do fulfill our mandate. We were expected as well to be commercially viable, but at the same time to support the government in terms of its development agenda. Are we still taking passengers from point A to B? And what are the numbers in terms of tourists coming to the country, and as well us taking our tourists out of the country? The numbers are increasing on the side of tourism. But also, we still have our flights full. Despite the fact that we've got so much competition, we have our flights full.
Well, the question is then, what then is wrong with, is it your model? Is it onerous demands from as you are trying to support the government's objectives? What is wrong? Because clearly something is wrong.
I think there are some legacy issues, historic challenges that one can refer to. Also, I think there is also this notion that it's this particular board or it's this particular leader, or it's the government of today that probably is meddling. There are so many things that are put before us that are trying. In fact, we can't be distracted and lose focus if we focus on what is being said and what goes out there about the airline.
But what in your analysis is wrong with the airline?
One can also admit that the historic and legacy issues have had very negative impact in the airline. You will remember the losses. Let me just quote one example. The losses in 2003, 2004. Those losses amounted to about 13 billion, 13.8 billion. Some were caused by impairments, some were caused by hedging. But if you go back, maybe a step back around 2000, 1999, 2000, we had a very healthy balance sheet at that time. We had a fleet that belonged to SAA. It was our own fleet. But the former CEO, maybe not to mention his name, sold all that fleet, but he sold it and leased it back to SAA. If you do that, in the bottom line, it appears very good and healthy. So the board was believing that they've become profitable. Therefore, that particular CEO had turned the airline around. In the meantime, it's a bad decision that was taken then. It still lives with us. That particular bad decision, we've got a depleted balance sheet as we speak. What do you do when you are leasing the aircrafts all the time? So it's a debt that we found ourselves having to inherit, and we continue with that particular debt. Now, when we developed the strategy, now the turnaround strategy, which is about the 9th strategy, we looked at those legacy issues and said, what is it that we can do to deal with that? Therefore, we premised our development of the strategy to the fact that the government could come on board and give us capitalization in cash.
But what in your analysis is wrong with the airline?
If you compare SAA with other state airlines, you find that they've got 100% support. Again, what was our mandate? Why were we established? Were we established to be profitable, or were we established to facilitate trade, but to become sustainable and not really rely on government for bailouts?
So, one of the key issues that people seem to be fighting you, with you over is the fact they say the model that you're suggesting, by wanting to go back to government foreman, is simply unsustainable. It simply cannot work. Treasury disagrees with you vehemently as to whether the approach that you're suggesting is a good one for the airline. And what that has done also has been to give people a sense that the allegations that have been made against you, that you've become a law unto yourself, you've undermined Treasury, something SOEs generally do not do.
You must also understand that there is a wish to privatize the airline. So I'm dealing with issues, I'm fighting with an issue that the majority of certain people want the airline to be privatized. The mandate is simple that I have, is that the airline should not be privatized. Therefore, I am fighting people. You probably are saying we are probably differing with National Treasury. We are very new in that department. I couldn't be differing with a new shareholder. They are the shareholder. They own the airline. It's a government entity. But must I give it out and allow privatization? Must I also allow information that does not suggest that we are all working as a collective to win, to ensure that the company goes back to its glory? The previous regime was funded. The government was putting money at SAA. It was not a big deal. It is now a big deal if we ask for money. Why is it a big deal?
But it doesn't make it right.
It does not make it right. I am very, very clear about that. When we developed the turnaround strategy, we put a certain figure for cash injection, basing that on the legacy issues. Legacy issues are a number of them. I don't think also we can be able to articulate them. Of course, the model, SAA model, is not necessarily correct, but our turnaround strategy talks to a number of things that need to be done in support of what the government wants us to do.